Good evening, everybody. Welcome to our Spark Call. I was just looking forward to this one like all week. I have really come to appreciate Tamara that we're going to hear from tonight for our training. But before we get on to that, I want to tell you guys that we're going to get to hear another health testimony. I just love this part of it. Do not get tired of it. Maybe some of you saw my status today. That was literally a message I got just yesterday from a month-old customer, and it is so exciting. I'm like, never gets old. So I cannot wait to hear from Megan. She's going to share with us her story. Tell us, Megan, first where you're from, maybe how long you've been on Plexus, and then we'll hear your story.
Hi, I'm Megan. I live in Alaska. I've been here for 20-something years now, and I started Plexus on January 1st, 2015, which was an exciting day to start. Totally not planned, but it's just how it worked out, which makes it easy to remember. So you ready for me to just jump into it?
Yes.
All right.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Okay. So I have been physically fitness focused my whole life. I began running when I was in junior high, and growing up in Alaska, I also had infinite opportunities to go hiking, which I've taken full advantage of. I trained in Taekwondo until an injury cut that path short. Once I graduated college, I rode my bike to work every day, and then after work, I rode it to the gym every night to participate in kickboxing, swimming, yoga, Pilates, free weights, whatever they had going on. I was into it all. And I do that for at least an hour every evening. I participated in every organized running event that was around, including the Gold Nugget Triathlon, and I absolutely loved it all. But the problem was that through all of this, I always struggled with my weight. I was doing everything right. Calorie in was way less than calorie out. I was eating all of the diet foods advertised, low fat, low calorie, sugar free. But as each year passed, I gained more and more weight, and I felt worse and worse. So you see, the problem is that physical fitness does not equal healthy. And I was doing everything that mainstream media said you're supposed to do, but I was absolutely not supporting my body. I was torturing it. Unknowingly. So the lifestyle I lived, and that many people in this country live, encouraged the quality of my health to steadily decline until one day I woke up at 32 years old, a mother of two amazing little girls, and I was barely able to walk or breathe, and I definitely couldn't find the joy in the blessed life I was living. But then, when I started the triplex, all of that changed. Inspired with the hope that my friend had shared with me about the how and the why the supplements work. Before long, I found myself physically able to exercise again. I was able to breathe. I no longer had the pain that was keeping me from being able to walk. But not just physically capable, I actually craved it. My body wanted to move. Every day I was excited to discover just how much my body was improving and healing. And one of the biggest excitements was that I actually began loving nutrient-dense foods. The vegetables and fruits that I had abandoned for the advertised diet foods in a box, I was craving, and that's all I wanted. I didn't want to eat anything processed, anything filled with sugar. It was just vegetables and fruit. So riding this wave, I filled my plate every day with the fruits and vegetables. My glass was filled with pink drink and water, and that's all I ate and drank. And then I exercised, and I continued this day after day after day. And then one day, I just remember sitting on the floor in my messy house. There's changing a dirty diaper. There was dirty clothes around and dishes all over the kitchen counter. My toddlers were running around while one was getting their diaper changed. And I mean, it was a mess, like a house with littles is. And I just remember pausing and looking around and just being overcome with this sense of joy. And joyful that I was overcome with a sense of joy because I remember how I had been missing it, how I knew it was there, but I couldn't see it before. And it was back.
Yeah.
My hope had paid off.
Mm-hmm.
You see, our bodies were not designed to operate on a strict calorie in, calorie out basis. Our bodies were designed to function optimally with the right tools. Our problem as a society is we've taken so much focus off of the tools and put them on restriction. But Plexus helps provide our bodies with the tools they need to be and do what they need. And we provide our body with those tools by filling up our plates with the right foods, lots of vegetables, lots of water, the right high quality supplements to fill in the gap where our stressed soils cannot provide us nutritionally what we need, and daily moderate exercise. And I say moderate there on purpose because the way I had been living, the active lifestyle I had been living, was too much stress. Mm-hmm. And obviously not enough fuel.
Right.
So we increase the fuel and we decrease the stress, and that's where we're going to find that optimal health.
That's so well said. I like that way you worded that. That's so true.
Yes, it's very true and personally experienced by me, and I'm assuming many others as well.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, that was exciting to hear. I mean, talk about Mama getting her joy back, Mama feeling like living life again, and discovering this as a tool. And I'm sure you're helping others. In fact, I know you are growing your own little business because of this. And the joy just never leaves, right?
Yes.
I don't know if you're like me, but I felt like part of my physical improvement came by sharing this with others. The more I would see the testimonies happening, and then the more I would get a paycheck to provide for my family, that whole snowball effect helped me improve my health too. Yes. So thank you so much for sharing that. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me on.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Well, that one's going to stick with us for a while, isn't it? That was a super sweet story of Mama getting her life back. And that's what we're all about, right, guys? Okay, so I didn't properly introduce myself or Charlotte. I'm sorry about that in the beginning, but I kind of feel like, oh, everybody knows, who we are because we're in the team group every day. But I'm Brenda Martin, Diamond Ambassador, and Charlotte here is my wonderful friend, Sapphire, going on Diamond. It's going to happen soon, you guys. I'm so excited for her. She's going to be my first diamond. Next to my husband was my first diamond, but I feel like that doesn't count. I'm ready for my first official diamond. So, Tamara, we are ready to hear from you. So I asked our team for some questions, and we got quite a few, so I kind of compiled them. And the first one we have for you is kind of what your IPA looked like, your income producing activities, your first year, and like the hours you spent, kind of what you did. Can you give us a picture of that?
Sure. Well, hey, everybody. Thank you for having me. I'm super excited to be here. I adore Brenda, and I don't know Charlotte super well, but every time I have seen anything written by her or like her comments on the Jules page, she just seems like a bright light and just someone that I need more of in my life. So I'm super excited to be here. Do what?
I'm going to stop you a second and back up because I didn't properly introduce you, for crying out loud. So I posted your Diamond documentary on the team group, but I know how it goes. Not everyone sees it. But obviously Tamara is an amazing diamond, and she's from Arkansas. And I actually got to know her, I feel, best by all these little Plexus events that I went to where the jewels get to go to, where I kept bumping shoulders with her. And I got to train with her for our jewel trainers and that type of thing. And goodness, I'm just like, this girl is full of so much amazing tips. It just rolls out of her. And so I knew we could just come here and ask her questions, and she would have answers for us like this. And they're going to be fun, exciting answers. So I hope you guys have your pencils and paper ready. Okay, back to our question, Tamara.
No pressure. Okay, so what did my IPA look like? So I'm thinking back, whenever or when I first started, we didn't have the terms, IPA or DMO. Like none of us, they're kind of buzzwords in Plexus now, but we didn't, I didn't ever hear any of those things. But when I look back and I think about it, that's exactly what I was doing, was IPA, income producing activity. Y'all, let me tell you something. From my road, especially from Ambassador Silver to Emerald, I spent 90% of my time reaching out to people, expanding my network, sharing Plexus. That's it. Like, don't overcomplicate it. I told my team this just tonight. If you are not at the rank that you want to be, and if you, or if you have not reached the goal that you've set out for yourself, 80% to 90% of your time needs to be on prospecting and recruiting. Period. We can't get distracted by, scrolling Facebook and looking for fun posts that we can use, or, posting on the team page, or chatting with the sideline, well, how's your month going? None of those things are bad, but if you have a limited amount of time, which, let's be honest, most of us do. Someone said, preach it. Okay, I'm gonna keep going. That's where your time needs to be spent. Expanding your network, reaching out to new people, sharing this opportunity, sharing our life-changing products. That's it. That is what you need to spend your time on. And guys, that's exactly what I did. When I started Plexus, I had just a little over 300 Facebook friends. And when I decided to go all in, and I made the conscious choice to commit to this, I committed to 1 full year. And then I knew, in order to build a strong business, not just to build a business, but to build a strong legacy business, I had to expand my network, because I knew the more people I talk to, the more people I share with, the quicker I'm going to grow and the wider I'm going to grow. And so that's what I did, guys. I would get up before my daughter did. She was 2 years old at the time. And I would go to bed after my husband went to bed. And I would stay up late and woke up early and use that time specifically to reach out to people. I probably, made phone calls, sent emails, sent messages, looked on different Facebook groups for just people that stood out to me, and I would friend them on Facebook, and I would begin to nurture those relationships from stranger to acquaintance and from acquaintance to friendship from different states. Like, we didn't know each other. And that is all I did. That is all I did. Just new level ones. And so I know that I'm talking a lot about that, but it's because I truly believe that that is where your time needs to be spent if you have a goal to be a jewel and beyond with this company. Your success is directly correlated to how hard you're willing to work to find others like yourself who are just as committed and passionate about succeeding. So we all have our own set of odds. All of us have a different set of odds, and you won't know what those are until after you've succeeded, until after you've reached that goal. So my IPA literally looks like developing new relationships and then sharing this opportunity with people. And I shared it with passion and confidence and boldness because I knew what I had in my hands and I wanted everybody to have it. And so I didn't approach people like, and this is on my mind specifically. I know I'm going a little off, Brenda, but it's because I'm so passionate about this, because I see far too often people say things like, well, that's easy for you to say, Tamara or some other jewel, because you're a jewel. Like, you can be bold and passionate. But I wasn't always a jewel. I clicked join Plexus just like everybody else did, and I had to get my 3 ambassadors to go silver. But I shared like I was a jewel because I had that much confidence and belief in what I had to offer people that I talk to them like they're crazy if they don't do this with me. I mean, I might have said that to people. You're crazy if you don't jump on board with it. This is going to be amazing. So you can never say to yourself, because what your mind thinks is how you will project. So if you think in your mind, well, I'm just a silver, or I'm just a gold ambassador, I don't have much to offer, that's exactly how you're going to project onto others when you're sharing this opportunity. Okay, sorry, way off there.
Girl, no apologies. We're soaking this in and loving it. I just have to quote this And I want you guys to all write this down, maybe even put it up as an affirmation or something. But she said, I shared like I was a jewel. Mm-hmm. She had that posture from the very beginning. And that's exactly why Tamara is on our leaderboard almost every single week, and why she was our top earner at convention 2 years ago. You've always been one of the top earners. She knows what she's talking about, people. So share like you're a jewel, even if you're not. And I can totally identify with what you're saying. I was the same way, and I was super bold and passionate.
Well, it's contagious.
Okay.
I mean, when you're passionate and your passion is out there, your confidence is out there, that is contagious. And so when you're sharing with people, whatever you're projecting out, that's what's going to drip on them, and that's what they're going to take from you. And so if I tell someone, I am a silver ambassador, I'm in the top 10% of Plexus, let me tell you where I'm headed. I'm headed to Emerald level. And you know what that is? That's Maui, that's Alexis, that's this amazing Emerald pool bonus. You got to do this with me. Tell people not just where you are, but where you're headed, where your journey is going. Build that belief in them, because in your mind, you know you're going to get there. And so you want them to partner with you and go alongside you, not watch you and wait to join you later.
Exactly. Now, another thing you mentioned a couple times was you just were getting level ones, you were getting level ones, you were getting level ones. Do you remember about how many level ones you had when you hit Emerald?
I think I had maybe around 65 or 70 when I went Emerald. Yeah, and I think around 100 when I went Diamond.
Okay, there you are, guys. There's a picture for you. There's a goal. I had a goal of 40 level ones to because I had heard the time I joined 40 to 45 was average for Emerald. And so that was my first goal, to get 40 level ones. And that's just, it was a visual I had from the beginning. So there's numbers for you guys. Okay, moving on. Did you do local opportunity events or on Zoom? And also, speaking of Zooms, how did you utilize Zooms mostly, as opportunity events or trainings?
Yeah. So Zoom didn't really come around until, at least I didn't know about it until probably maybe 2.5, 3 years ago. So my first, few months, I was not utilizing Zoom, but I was doing a lot of what I call coffee and conversation. So I would meet with like a level one, typically a silver or a gold, and their team, and we would just, have coffee and just sit around the table and just chat. It wasn't anything formal. I did do several, local small opportunity events, like at a pizza place, at someone's house. And I'm thinking of specific ones I was at. Nothing formal, guys. You don't have to have a big stage or a big room. My favorite meetings I've done have been in the living room of the ambassador, where we just share products. We rolled a Diamond documentary, and we just talked and answered questions about what Plexus could offer. So I did do, I would say, a fair amount of those, from maybe silver to Emerald. And then Zoom started coming around, and I did a lot of opportunity meetings on Zoom. And by opportunity meeting, again, I've never been a formal person. Like, I had never done anything formal until I spoke at convention. True story. Like 2 years ago, I spoke at convention. That was like my first time to stand up on a stage and, train or speak. And so, but I would do very informal Zooms and things like that. I remember one gal who wanted to fast track gold. And so right before she joined, we actually gathered her friends and family in her living room, and I just spoke to them. She lives in Nevada, and I spoke to them from Arkansas and just shared, how Plexus had changed my life, what the compensation plan was, because a lot of these girls had been in network marketing before. And so it was just like a conversation. And I have people that have said to me, when I get to a certain level, I'm going to do opportunity meetings. Or when I get to a certain, rank, I'm going to do Zooms with my team. But no, I wish I would have started sooner, to be honest with you. And so I just want to challenge you, if you have 3 people on your team, get them to invite 1 or 2 potentials and do a small, intimate opportunity live where they can see your face and they can hear your voice and they can see the passion that you have for our products and our business. And maybe have, one of your gals share her health testimony, and then another person share their financial testimony. You don't have to have anything big, formal, or specific to do this. Just do it. It will pay off.
And remember, guys, it's simple. We have showed you how. Your sponsor has showed you how. Do not reinvent the wheel. Just be passionate like Tamara is. Goodness, if you guys could have her posture, you'd be diamond too, right? Okay, go practice in front of the mirror when we're done here. All right. I have another question, but I feel like we've really covered it well already. Really no use going into that. So Charlotte has some questions for you now.
Okay.
All right, Tamara, I've got a question for you from our team, and one of those is, how do you help someone go beyond silver?
I think that, silver obviously is bringing on 3 new people. I think to go beyond silver, kind of what I've already said. I mean, just continuing to recruit level 1s. I had a girl on my team, I think she's my level 4, asked me today. She was like, I have 5 people, 5 level 1s, but no one is working the business. Like, how am I ever going to get to gold? And I said, it's simple. You're going to recruit more people. Like, when you are going from silver to gold, guys, let me tell you something. You're the heavy lifter. Instead of sitting back and saying, and listen, everything I'm telling you is from experience. So don't think that I have this all together. This is from, Tamara probably had this mindset at one point. I learned, and then I've changed my mindset. Okay, so I'm going to tell you what I used to think. Well, maybe I'll find that rock star. I'm going to keep looking for that rock star who's going to take me to the next level. They're going to take me to jewel level. Where's my rock star? Where's my rock star? And you know what? I had to decide, I'm going to be the rock star. I'm going to be the recruiter. I'm going to be the heavy lifter. I'm going to bring on these level 1s. I'm going to train them. I had to make a conscious decision to quit looking for someone to help me and instead help myself and just add people and add people and add people. Because remember what I said, all of our odds are different. There's people that have gone emerald with 20 level 1s. There are people that it took them 100 level 1s to go emerald. I was somewhere right in between there. You don't know what your odds are until you've already reached that goal. So you have to keep adding people. And then when you add them, help them go silver. We hear that said a lot, right? Help your people go silver. But what does that look like? It looks like, first of all, making sure they understand the compensation plan, making sure they have a strong belief in themselves, they have a strong belief in our company, in our products, and what Plexus has to offer, and a strong belief in network marketing. You have to have a strong belief in our industry, period, if you want to be successful. Because again, your posture and what you really believe is how you're going to project to others. Also, real tangible things, 3-way calls. I have done so many 3-way calls, you guys. If I had $1 for every 3-way call I've done, I would be making a diamond income on that alone. I mean, the 3-way calls are so important. And I'm not just talking about training. That's something I definitely did later on in my journey. But I'm talking about prospect calls. So I'll grab a level 1 and say, okay, who you been chatting with that you haven't closed the deal with yet? Like, who's in your funnel? Who are you working with? Who are you talking to? Let's get them on the line with me, and I'll share my story with them. I've had such a great success rate with getting people on the line and sharing my story, and then they join. And I'm not saying they join and they fast track senior gold or anything. Not everybody that joins is going to be a runner, but we've had a great success rate, me personally and on my team, with doing these 3-way calls with potentials. And so people say, well, how do I get people on a 3-way call? Like, it just seems kind of awkward to ask them, to come hear from my upline or whatever. And I say, you know what? Make it super casual. Hey, I want you to hear my friend Tamara's story. She has such a great story about how these products have changed her health and what it's done for her in the business. Like, you've got to hear from her. You're going to love her because of X, Y, Z. She's going to love you because of X, Y, and Z. Find some way to relate and connect the person, the potential, and the upline together, just like it's 3 gals or guy and a couple gals get on the phone and just chatting and just sharing stories. Because when they hear your voice and they're able to find a connection with you, they're much more likely to want to jump on board. And so that is something you need to be doing with your people too. And don't let, again, that mindset to creep in. I'm just a silver, or I'm just a gold, or I'm just whatever I am. Because and think you don't have a story to tell. You absolutely have a story to tell. My first paycheck was $240, and I was doing cartwheels in my kitchen. I was ecstatic. And we got him in the mill at the time, and I ran in. Oh my gosh, $240 is amazing. I don't know how I made this money, but I'm going to find out. And that is when I looked at the comp plan, and my belief was born in what Plexus had to offer. And so, by golly, I was going to go out and offer it to others. So to get beyond silver, you've got to keep recruiting, guys. You're going to hear me say that over and over again. And you've got to help your team recruit as well.
Okay, that's awesome. I'm inspired. I want to go out and get some new people. Okay, What are your best tips for developing leaders on your team?
Yeah. I'm going to be honest with you guys. For a long time, I just felt like I had to control everything. And I think that was based on fear. Like I was afraid if I kind of let my fingers off of it, if anything, for a little bit, that I might lose something. And then I started reading personal development books about leadership. And I realized that was all the wrong way, that to be a great leader, I had to inspire others to lead. And so I changed my focus, and I started asking people on my team to do things for the team. For example, lead a new ambassador training. But Tamara, I can't. I've never done a training before. Yes, you can. Let me tell you what gifts you have to offer people. And then after they get done doing it, I get a message from them. I am so glad you pushed me to do that. Like that was the most exhilarating thing. I'm so excited. I'm going to go do this for my team now. I've done challenges to bring people out of their comfort zone that I believe helps cultivate leaders. One example of that is I did an incentive where I had people do their own training video. It had to be 2 to 5 minutes long, and I gave them maybe 5 different topics they could choose from to do a training video on. And then the team had to watch the training and vote on like their top 5 favorites. I had people coming out of the woodworks that were like, I've never done this before, but I'm going to give it a go. Because I was a really good incentive. It was like first place got $100, second place was $75, third was $50, and then like fourth and fifth got, I don't remember what it was. I think it was a book on personal development. And so people were doing these videos, and 2 things. One, my team was watching tons of videos because they were super excited to be able to vote. And then secondly, it got people out of their comfort zone. And I can think of 2 girls specifically that after that challenge, they began to regularly and consistently do videos for their team. And so I recognized that was a big deal, like pulling people out of their comfort zone and getting them doing things that maybe they wouldn't do if they weren't pushed a little bit. That cultivates leadership. So if anybody, does something and then they take that and begin to duplicate it in other areas with their business, they're growing as a person and they're growing as a leader. So I think that's super important. Doing book clubs with my people. I've done a lot of book clubs, A Millionaire by Halftime, of course, the 21 Laws, Rock Your Network Marketing Business, the 4-year career, anything where you're face to face with people doing something that's going to help them grow. Again, cultivating leadership, because they learn from the book, they're inspired, and they go on and they do it with their teams as well. So it's super important to delegate out and challenge people and push them, even if they think they can't do it, because it's going to breed confidence in them. And then with that confidence, they're going to go and duplicate that. I always say that whatever you want your team to do, you have to do. So you have to model what you want your team to implement. And that's going to help cultivate leadership.
Okay. All right. One last question.
Okay.
How often do you contact or follow up with white-lined ambassadors or customers who quit?
Yeah. You know what? My advice there is you can't motivate the unmotivated. Your time is better spent reaching out to new people or building belief and investing time in the people you already have. But that being said, when something new comes, like the new formulated block, Edge, the ease line, coming from fast relief to ease, whatever our big reveal is, absolutely you reach out to those inactives and those inactive customers, because you never know what's going to bring them back. I have a gal who's going to sign up as a customer tomorrow. She was an ambassador 3 years ago. She does not want to be an ambassador, but she came to me and said, I miss that pink drink. I don't want to be an ambassador. I don't want that $34.95, but I would love to be your customer. And it's someone that I've been part of kind of my email campaign when something new came out. She never responded, but I continue to plant those seeds. I continue to leave myself in her mind ever so often. And we've been talking off and on for the past probably 2 months. And then today she said, okay, I'm ready to go ahead and get it. I'm going to quit putting it off. And so that's someone that I was continuing to drip on, but not investing a lot of time. Just ever so often having a touch base, when something new was coming or something exciting was happening. And so I definitely think it's worth your time at that point. But I would not, sit there and ponder, like, what can I do to bring inactives back? Or, what can I do to get those people to order product again. No, what can you do? You can go out and find new people, because you never know what's around the corner in your business. I mean, you may be working with a bunch of wholesale ambassadors and you may be senior gold and you don't have anyone working the business and running the business. And the next person you sign tomorrow, next week, right after convention, that could be your first runner and the person that you finally get to lock arms with and go. So, but what if you had been spending all that time on these inactives and trying to get them back, you know, resurrecting the dead, you wouldn't have found this new life over here. So that would be my thoughts on that.
Okay, awesome. Wow. I'm going to rewatch this one for sure.
Yes, that's what I was thinking. So many good things. I've been jotting down some stuff, but I think Charlotte and I are just going to have to do that little training video contest thing. That was brilliant. And I'm ready to get some of my people out of their comfort zone again.
Yes.
Thank you so much for everything you shared.
Sure.
I think you guys should start getting your lists right now of your white lines or customers that quit or whatever for after our big reveal. It'll be a great time to be ready to send something out to those people. And I'll tell you one quick little thing I did last year. At the end of the year, I sent out, or maybe it was the beginning of the year, somewhere in there, thank you cards, kind of a happy new year. I think that's what it was. Thank you cards to everyone, all my level ones, and then my customers, whether they were current or not. I just wrote, thank you for being my customer or part of my team in 2016. And so a lot of them were inactive, but I still sent that out to, you know, as long as they had placed an order in 2016. And so, you know, there's just some things like that you can do too periodically to just recognize them and thank them and let them know you haven't forgotten about them. So great stuff, Tamara. It was so good having you on here. One of our best bar calls ever.
Oh, you're so sweet. I want to say one more thing because it just popped into my mind. And I always take those nudges as something I need to say. Super simple. But if you are not uncomfortable in your business, it's likely you're not growing. So if day in and day out, you're just comfortable in what you're doing, you're enjoying what you're doing, but you're not pushing yourself, what you're doing is not a little bit tough, you're probably not growing, guys. So you need to ask yourself, what's going to make me uncomfortable, and get a little uncomfortable, because the uncomfortability is what's going to push you forward. It's what's going to push you to grow. And I'm telling you, that is where it's all worth it and it all comes together. So get uncomfortable.
Awesome.
Perfect. And Charlotte and I would definitely agree with that, right? All right. Good night, everybody. Thanks again for being on.
Thanks all for
Talk to you all
having me. See y'all later.
Good night.
Good night.